So welcome to my class, and this we are doing collection unit 2 in continuation, collection of data we are doing. And in this we talked about the difference between primary data and secondary data, and now we are going to talk about what are the methods of collection of primary data. Where do we collect primary data from? How do we go about it? Okay, so just have a look while I can just tell you what it is. Yeah, so the basic data, I mean, when you're talking about collection of data, so they are collected by using the following methods. So the study of a set of statistical methods which are well known for collecting. That means we know it. Okay, we can collect it like this. So let's just take this. Like for example, let's take personal interviews. In this, direct personal investigation. Then you have indirect oral investigation. And third is information through local sources or correspondence. And another way is information through questionnaires and schedule. You can either mail questionnaires or surveys, and you can also send some enumerators, people who go out in the field themselves and ask questions with their questionnaire in hand. And of course you can do telephonic interviews and all of that. So let's just take the first one, personal interviews. Now in this direct personal investigation, it is a method by which the data are personally collected by the investigator from the respondents. Respondents, which means the people who are there, from whom you seek information, are the respondents. So the investigator establishes direct relation with the persons from whom the information is to be obtained. Now the success of this method requires that the investigator should be very hardworking, efficient, tolerant, and also impartial. So this is how. So direct contact with the workers of an industry, for example, to obtain information about their economic condition. Or for example, if I want to find out about the economic conditions of, say, the rickshaw pullers, I must go in them with my set of questions and ask them. Now this, how suitable it is. Especially it is suitable when the field of investigation is not very large and you do need a great amount of originality is expected out of you, then you do it. And the information has to be kept secret, it's not to be spread. And the accuracy of data is to be very significant, but because perhaps you want to build up some welfare scheme for these, say, the rickshaw pullers, perhaps. So that has to be kept secret so that others just don't barge in. And especially a direct personal investigation is required when you need to have an absolute authentic information. So based on this, I'm sure you'll be able to tell me what is important. What are the merits of it? Yes, it is original. It has a higher degree of originality. It is more accurate. It is reliable. All right. And then another important thing is that in this you can also get some related information to what whatever survey you're conducting. It can help you somewhere else too. You can get related information, and then it sort of helps you to make comparisons. It brings in more uniformity because you yourself is involved in collecting of data. And another thing is, it is very you can almost according to the need, you can change the questions of the particular questionnaire based on where you go. So it is also it can be changed easily. It can be to suit your purpose. Now what could be the demerit? One demerit is that it is very difficult to cover very wide areas, and second is that it is very costly, and third is like, yeah, there can be a lot of personal bias, and that's why the data might lose its credibility. Suppose you are drawn to, your heart melts for a certain person, and then that's how you change your opinion, or your entire study gets colored by some people. So that bias becomes, that is the bias that you can build, which is not very good. Okay, so having said that, now we come to the second one, indirect oral investigation. Now in this, information is obtained not from the person regarding whom the information is needed. It is collected orally from other persons who are expected to possess the necessary information. So these other persons are known as, say, witnesses. Okay, for example, if you want to find out about the economic conditions of the workers, you don't go to them, but then you go to their employer and ask them. For example, if I want to know about the behavior of the students, I don't talk to them, I talk to their parents. So they are very well connected. So it is like indirect oral investigation. So this method is suitable, particularly when the field of investigation is relatively large and it is not really possible to have a direct contact with the concerned respondents, or maybe the concerned respondents are not capable of giving information because of their ignorance or illiteracy, and maybe sometimes information is so complex, investigation is so complex in nature that only experts can give information. You can get it only from the experts dealing in those areas. And this method is mostly used by government or non-governmental government committees or commissions. So what are the merits? Yeah, it is less expensive. Yes, it has wide coverage, and it is relatively free from personal bias of the investigator. He's not prejudiced. There's not much of prejudice in this. Now, or it belongs to a certain group of people perhaps. However, demerits is that it is less accurate, and again, there can be a personal bias of the witness that is giving the information. The person you're collecting information could have a certain prejudice towards that person or that group of people. So that could be, and that could lead to doubtful conclusions. So basically, what is the difference between the two? That in case of direct personal investigation, the investigator establishes direct contact with the respondents. On the other hand, in the case of indirect oral investigation, information is obtained by contacting other than those about whom information is sought. Now, and secondly, direct personal investigation is generally possible when the field of investigation is small. On the other hand, indirect oral investigation is generally preferred when the field of investigation is relatively large. And another thing, in direct personal investigation, the investigator must be well versed in the language and cultural habits of the respondents. And in indirect oral investigation, there is no such need. You don't really need it. And direct investigation is rather relatively costlier than indirect investigation. Now we come to the third one, information through local correspondents or sources. Now, in this, the investigator appoints local persons or correspondents at different places, and they collect information in their own way and furnish the same to the investigator. Now, for example, where is such information suitable? A regular and continuous information is needed. Where is it needed? Yeah, where? For the newspapers, okay, for the magazines. Another is that the area of investigation is large. The information is used by journals, magazines, radio, TV, etc. And there is a high degree of accuracy and here a high degree of accuracy information is really not required. So that is why. So you just ask, you have your correspondents all over the place, and suppose you're in, say, in Delhi, you have your correspondents all over India covering an event, and that's how you come to know. For example, now there are many a policy that is made in the parliament. We have a group of journalists from all these agencies and newspapers who are there covering the whole proceedings. So from there, I needn't be there to find out what's going on. I know that I'm going to get it through the correspondence that are there available. So what is the principal merit? That it is economical in terms of time, money or efforts involved. Yes, there is wide coverage, fairly wide coverage actually, and the correspondent keep on supplying almost the information regularly, so there's continuity. And so then we have what are the demerits? Demerits could be that it's not original because of lack of personal contact with respondents. Then there could be a massive prejudice, personal bias based on the correspondence that are there. Okay. And all right, okay, then let's come to the questionnaire. So what is this? Under this method, the investigator prepares a questionnaire keeping in view the objectives of the inquiry, and there are two ways of collecting information on the base of questionnaire. One is a mailing questionnaire survey method, and the second is enumerators method. Now let me just talk about the mailing questionnaire surveys. Under this method, questionnaires are mailed to the respondents. A letter is attached with the questionnaire giving the purpose of inquiry. It is also assured that the information would be kept secret. The respondent notes the answers against the questions and returns the completed questionnaire to the investigator. And the second is enumerators method. Under this, a questionnaire is prepared according to the purpose of inquiry. The enumerator himself approaches the respondent with the questionnaire. The questionnaire, which are filled by the enumerators themselves by putting questions, are called schedules. Thus, under this method, the enumerator himself fills the schedules after seeking information from the respondents. And who are the enumerators? They are those persons who help the investigator in collecting the data. And the enumerators are given training to fill the schedules and put the questions intelligently to obtain accurate information. So with that, I'm going to end this, and next we are going to talk about questionnaires. How should they be designed?